The topics and opinions expressed on the following show are solely those of the hosts and their guests and not those of W4WN Radio, its employees, or affiliates. We make no recommendations or endorsements for radio show programs, services, or products mentioned on air or on our web. No liability, explicit or implied, shall be extended to W4WN Radio, its employees, or affiliates. Any questions or comments should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for choosing W4WN Radio.
Welcome to Love Your Body, Love Your Life. My name is Jenna. I am the author of the book titled Love Your Body, Love Your Life, 52 Tips That Will Radically Change Your Health. And I'm excited to be back today. I haven't been live in, it's been almost a month or so. My life has been really busy. I took a family vacation. I went to Vegas. I've been busy with my real estate my other gig that I have. And anyway, so through my real estate circle, I met my next guest, Debi Voris. She's a certified holistic health coach. And I met her through a mutual friend of ours, Mariana. And I'm super excited to have her on because she's inspirational. She made a decision at one point, and we're going to hear all about this from her, but she made a decision to change her life. And with that one decision, I believe that she did just that. And along the way, it seems like she has found new passions and a new zest for life. And now she's actually helping other people do the same thing, which is awesome. So without further ado, let's bring her on. Debi, welcome to Love Your Body, Love Your Life.
Thank you. I'm honored to be here, Jenna.
Awesome.
Do you want me to share my story?
Yes, of course. I was just going to say, I love that song that Juan is our producer backstage. And I love that song, Here Comes the Sun. But yeah, I love it. And I feel like that's kind of like you in a way, like in a sense, it's like, here comes the sun, because it's like you had this big, epiphany maybe, or that's kind of where I want to start. Like, what was the turning point for you in your journey, and why did you decide to make some changes, or the changes that you did make?
Well, it's interesting. What happens with a lot of people and what happened with me is I kind of lost myself in health and weight, actually, because I was taking care of my mom, who had dementia and then Alzheimer's, and I had an infant son that needed a lot of therapies to go to. And when we always had holiday cards to send out every year, and so when we had photos taken, we got the photos back, and I started bawling my eyes out. I even hit my husband. How can you let me get this back? And I couldn't believe, I had gotten that heavy because I wasn't paying attention to myself. And what was great was, that Christmas, my husband decided to give me a weight loss program, which was a keto program.
Okay.
And I committed to doing it. And I was doing it with him, but I was the one that had the program. And I actually lost 50 pounds in 6 months.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Yeah. And I was really happy about that, but I was like, why am I so tired? And I was taking, vitamins and supplements and things like that during that process, but I was really tired. So I decided to go on to maintenance. My mom was declining. She was on hospice, and she finally passed away, which was better for her. And I was in the middle of cleaning up the estate when another company came into my life, which kind of, it was interesting how that happened. Now, those Christmas cards I took every year, I actually, did it through a company that I actually worked for. And so they got acquired by a health and wellness company. And I was a person that I asked the place I was losing the weight, do I really need to take supplements anymore? Because I bought them from, local stores like Mother's, GNC, Vitamin Shop. And they said, yeah, you still need to take them. So when things settled down, I started taking those products that the company that acquired Heritage Makers, and I felt completely different. I noticed within 4 days a natural sense of energy.
Mm.
And later on, I also noticed that um, the pain I had in my foot subsided.
Mhm.
Um, and I was like, well, I've never been able to run my whole entire life because I've had foot problems since I was a child. And the way I lost my weight originally with um, the place I was losing weight with was I
Mhm.
was walking 4 to 5 days a week, 40 to 50 minutes a day, a day, and it was painful for me. But when I started easing into running, 5, 10, 15 minutes, I actually got into it and completed and got it to 50 minutes, 4 to 5 days a week. And I was feeling really good.
Mhm.
And what happened then was I told my friend who actually runs, I'm running on a treadmill. She goes, oh, that's nothing. You need to go running with us. And I was like, okay. And I went running with her, and I did my first 10K with her, barely keeping up with her at the end. She says, well, you hit a wall. And I'm like, oh, okay. But I was running. And later on, she said, um, we're training for a half marathon. Do you want to join us? And I looked at her and said, and I don't know if I said it out loud. I had it in my head. Are you nuts? Because I just started running with her and things like that. But a month later, I decided to do my first half marathon.
Mm.
And what was great is that I actually finished before her. Now she did, had a friend that was also running with us who has some issues, so she was with her. But she was so thrilled with how I finished, and she was really happy. A year later, um, I I changed the way I did my keto with maintenance, and I actually cut off 25 minutes on my second half marathon. And ever since then, I've been a runner.
Okay.
Um, what propelled me to share um, was when a nurse came up to me from the clinic that I was losing weight, where I was on maintenance, and said, "What the hell are you doing?" It kind of shocked me. And
Mhm.
then later on, I was like, all I changed was my supplement profile. And she says, whatever you're doing, continue doing it because you never had issues. You were in the normal ranges for cholesterol and also blood sugar, but they dropped dramatically. So from then on, I
Mhm.
became passionate about learning everything I can learn to become a certified holistic health coach.
Okay.
And pretty much, I hope you guys have that disclaimer I sent you. But I'm not allowed to treat, cure, or prevent, um, or even diagnose any conditions.
Of
But
course.
I can help people revitalize their health. And I always invite people to also talk to their doctor. I am not a replacement for their doctor.
Yes.
Uh,
Um, first of all, I just want to say thank you for being open and brave enough to share your story because I know it can be a very vulnerable space for like for example, I want you to take me back to that time when you like see the Christmas card and you're feeling a certain way and take me back to that time, Debbie, just for anybody that's listening and because I know that's a struggle, right? It's like you want to make
yes,
changes. Something that big there's a lot of pieces involved with that. And I always feel that extra energy on your body, I like to call it energy, um, is there's an emotional piece to that, right? Because it's
yes, very much
of
so.
a protection. So
Yeah.
take me back to that feeling and that what kept you motivated? What was your did you have down days, and what did you do in those down days? And take me back.
Okay. Well, that picture is like 1,000 words if you think about it, like everyone says. And it just automatically triggered me to cry and be sad about everything that was going on in my life. And, it was a stressful time in my life. I had to take care of a lot of people. And unfortunately, because of that, I had to close down a previous business. So I had a lot of things going on. And, but it was really important to make sure my son was going to, be what he is today, which is fantastic, is what he's doing now. And also, handling my mother's situation too. Um, and it was wonderful that my husband loved me that much to purchase a keto program. And it wasn't cheap. It wasn't cheap. So I kind of felt like I was under pressure and I was really committed to do it.
Mm.
Now, it's interesting with mindset. Some people have willpower. And that's really, if you think about the tip of the iceberg, you know what I mean? Because on your mindset, the conscious mind is about 5%, which is the willpower.
Yeah.
And underneath is that bottom of the iceberg that you don't see, where all the stuff is going on.
Yes.
And I just wanted to drop that weight. And that was very important to me. As a matter of fact, they weren't doing this anymore, but they say, "You're like a star loser." And I'm like, "A star loser?" I mean, that word just doesn't sound right, right?
Right. Vocabulary is so important.
Yeah. And it's interesting with words,
Mhm.
and that's something I work with mindset with people. Weight loss is like people look at it and go, huh. Diet, people look at and they go, huh. So
Mhm.
I prefer to use words like rate, release, or drop. Um, and I've been able to keep my weight off for over 8 years.
Congratulations.
November will be my 9th anniversary,
Mhm.
and not many people can do that.
Mhm.
As a matter of fact, I coined the phrase that this clinic gave me, the 5% club. Anyone that's been able to keep their weight off for more than 2 years, you're a member of the 5% club. Well, I'm probably a member of the 2% club now. Because, I started losing my weight, and I don't really like putting out ages there, but, on that journey, I was 49 years old. And I did my first half marathon, 50 or
Yeah,
51.
that's amazing.
Yeah, and I've done 6 so far, each improving upon each other. And
Now, I have a question, Debbie.
Mhm.
I'm just curious, did you ever exercise as a kid? Were you active or inactive?
No, I was pretty inactive. I had problems with my foot, and I got excused from a lot of things. I had doctor's notes, and I wasn't very active. I mean, yes, I did hopscotch and things like that, whatever. But then it just got to be too uncomfortable because my foot was swell up at the
Okay.
time, and I had multiple things going on with my feet at the time I became an adult and got married. But
Okay.
my whole point is some things resolved itself over time. Um, and and when they found out what was causing the problem, I had surgery and something was removed. Um, but it was still a very painful foot. Um, and in my previous career, I used to be in the video business. I used to videotape things. And I'm gonna really date myself, but the cameras were 25 pounds.
Oh, yeah.
And I used to handheld cameras and things like that, and oh boy, my feet would kill me.
Yeah.
And I was always wearing flats. And it wasn't until I transformed myself, and I didn't even think about the foot issue being resolved, but it was very much help because it brought down the problems I was having with my foot. The inflammation can cause pain.
Yeah.
A lot of other things can cause pain, but
Mm.
I was feeling so much better with the running. And after that second half marathon, I just got hooked.
It's such a high. I think when we talked on the phone, I shared with you that I've ran 2 marathons back to back, actually. So I did a full marathon. And then I think it was about 3 months later, I went to Hawaii and did a half. And then I was done. I mean, physically, I was done. I loved running. I don't run anymore, but it's a high. There's nothing like it.
It
You
is wonderful. And just to tell you a little side story, my
Yeah.
training on my next half marathon, I unfortunately sprained and actually broke my foot.
Yeah.
And I couldn't do it. That would have been my seventh half marathon. And I've been healing from it. But you always learn things as you go along, right?
Mhm.
And I learned so much about how to heal my foot with herbals and other things I've done for it. And the doctor was wanting to take the boot off early, and he says, "Oh, we can't do that." But it did come off early, 2 weeks though. And because it was a sprain, it pulled up the tendons and things like that. And so, I had to walk before I started running again. And
Yeah.
it's a completely, it's a completely different experience. But when you go through these transformations, whether it's, you know, releasing weight or even just, getting back into running, you got to be in the positive mindset. And I was there once, I'll get there again. And I just need to be patient with myself. Uh,
Absolutely.
and it's the exact same thing with the weight loss. You got to be patient with yourself. You really cannot, you can judge only yourself, but you don't want to judge yourself. You don't want to be too hard on yourself, but you don't want to compare yourself to others.
Mhm.
And so, when I started walking, um, it was very uncomfortable, and I got to say, it was painful.
Mhm.
And then um, I was talking to the doctor about it recently, and so he gave me some guidelines, and he said, "You're not my typical client. My typical client's down here. You're up here." And I says, "I see you running again within a month."
Yay.
Wow. And so it's interesting. It was like his encouragement. I just thought that was really wonderful that he kind of fed my brain that way. And
I feel like I just kinda wanna point that out to you a little bit more. I love how you said that your your husband bought you the keto program, and you
mhm,
mentioned the word love. You
mhm.
said love for me or something in that. I'm not verbatim
He
right.
loved me so much to
He
buy me
loves
that
he loves you
program.
so much.
And I
And
did cry, and I said, "That's okay, you love me."
yeah, he loved you so much. And then it sounds like your doctor has the same sincerity and love, that, like you said, feeding your brain. And I
Mhm.
just want to reiterate that in our show because,
Oh, yeah.
um, I believe that we need at least one person in our life that has our back, that really
Mhm,
sees us for who we are and supports our goals and is a very has a sincerity, uh,
mhm.
behind the intentions of what they hold for us in our life. Um, and it sounds like you have that support, Debbie, and I'm excited for you with that.
Yeah.
Um,
I have a I have a
yeah,
very good my podiatrist has been with me for many, many years. So when he started me start running, he was like, "Wow."
yeah,
And so, and with running, you get toe injuries, toenail injuries and things like
absolutely,
that.
yeah. It's
And
tough on your body.
yeah, it's really hard on your body. And so he says, You keep on running. That's amazing." And it's just something I fell in love with. And
Yeah,
so that little bit of encouragement from him, um, I was kind of jogging a little bit, but not much. But, in a couple days, I don't know, I was crossing the street. I was walking really fast, and actually walking it's a little bit more uncomfortable for me than jogging
mm,
and running. But and then all of a sudden I had to cross the street. And so it was like, wow, that jog became a little bit more like a run. Then I had to cross the street again because, the person was waiting for me, and I got into a run. And I think that's the day that we talked,
Oh,
where
wow, okay.
yeah. Um, and so I came back from that run. I was like really happy. And I was like, I'm running again. And today was a pain-free day with the running. So
Yay.
yes, I was like excited. And he gave me a limit to keep in 3 miles until the pain was gone.
Mhm.
But, I always look at the little wins because even though it took me a while to get there, I got faster and I kept on getting faster. And then I got, and then I added more distance, this is early on, and then I got faster.
Mhm.
And then again, with the 3 miles, I've gotten faster again. So I'll be there. I signed up when my foot was broken that I was going to do my next half marathon on Super Bowl. Well, they don't do a Super Bowl Sunday. I do it at Surf City half
Okay.
marathon, and it's going to be close to Super Bowl Sunday.
Surf City in what where do you live?
I live in Huntington Beach, California.
Oh my gosh, we're so close. I'm in Newport.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. I didn't even ask you that, but yeah.
that's fine. Yeah, it's so easy to do it. The end of that half marathon is you see that pier, and it's actually past the pier, and you're like, oh, you're almost there. And it just seems like, that's why you said you did marathons. I said, well, I know after I finish my half, I'm like, I'm done finishing my half. I'm not ready for that mind game of doing the full.
Mhm.
And because I'm very happy with what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But
Awesome.
I've learned so many things over, releasing my weight and becoming a marathon runner. Um, that I'm passionate about helping others just
Yeah.
revitalize their health.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's get into that a little bit. Do you I wanted to ask this question. I'm not sure if it's, I just it was out of curiosity. Do you find a common thread in your clients, especially the women who are trying to, release some extraness,
Yeah.
some extraness?
Extraness, yes. And, what's interesting is that I was there too. Um, I was very stressed out, when my
Yeah.
mom was declining and I had a son that I had to, take to a lot of therapies. And stress does a number to your body. It slows it down. So a
Mhm.
lot of these people are stressed. They're trying to release weight and they're frustrated.
Mhm.
And they may even have hormone issues.
Yeah.
And once you can get your body working more efficiently with good nutrition, and also motion is very important, as you know,
Mhm.
um, and products that I recommend, um, your body will be able to run more optimally. It's kind of like you don't want to give, you know, for a high octane, high car, like a Mercedes or a Audi, you don't want to give it regular unleaded. You want to give it
Yeah.
premium.
Right. Even though
And
it's like $8 a gallon right now.
I know it's really expensive.
Yeah.
But that car's going to last longer when you give it the right oil, the right gas. And when I started, with my weight loss journey, it was very tiring. I was going to bed at 8:30, and then I started taking a completely different nutritional profile, and I started staying up to 10. And I was feeling better, and I did everything else I've already discussed. And it's really important to have a high quality nutritional supplement
Yeah.
and something that comes from a natural source. Because what happens with life these days, we are bombarded with a lot of toxins in our life.
Mhm.
And so I offer people a clean diet. I tell them, certain foods you know, if they like beef, you want to have grass fed beef because corn fed beef, um, they have health issues as well. Um, and if you want to eat chicken, then you need to be, chicken that are actually in pastures, not in cages. And if you want to eat fish, the best is wild caught salmon. You don't want farm fish because the water's and farms, fish farms, are not exactly clean.
Yeah.
So you want a clean diet. You want to have, organic produce. You want to stay away from the white stuff, which is gluten and sugars,
Mhm.
because they really make a big difference. And I noticed that with my own keto, weight loss. And I eventually just stopped eating gluten products entirely. What's interesting when you start doing a weight release or, weight journey to
Mhm.
improve yourself, it's you learn foods that work for you and
Mhm.
foods that are like, oh, this food is making me bloated.
Yeah.
And that's why I learned logging foods and things like that are just really important. And it becomes really important also when people have food allergies too.
Yeah.
They needed to keep track of what they're eating. Like all of a sudden, someone will have a migraine or something. Well, there's something that you ate that
Yeah.
may have caused this problem. So it's really important to step back and look at what you ate before
Mhm.
this symptom happened.
And all of this is like it can turn into another job. So
Mhm.
I love that people can have you, someone like yourself, for support because then you kind of take that burden off of them. So let's talk about the offer because I know you're offering um, my audience a gift. So can
Mhm.
we talk about that?
Yeah, the offer is actually worth $100. And
Okay.
what I do with my new clients is I have a process I go through. I first have a 15-minute free consultation where I get to know them, see where they're coming from, and then I ask them to do a health evaluation. And that's really important because from that health evaluation, I create them a custom holistic natural strategy for them. And that evaluation will give me information like symptoms that they've had in the last 30 days, as well as goals that they want to achieve.
Mhm.
And it's interesting, I'm getting a lot of people that well, the last few years hasn't done people any service. So I'm
Right.
getting
Yeah.
a lot of people that, need to release their weight and have other issues going on. And a lot of them are women. So they're a lot like my beginning of my story. And but with those symptoms and with those goals, I create that holistic strategy for them. And then I start guiding them down that path. Some of these things will be cleaning up the nutrition. Some of it would be, you know, products. Some of it would be coaching for mindset and emotion. And if people want to do the 12-week program I have, um, that's an additional cost, and they'll get one-on-one um, help where I actually create custom meal plans and all the other stuff for them. Um, whether they're releasing their weight and they pick a certain plan, because I do offer 2 to 3 plans, I kind of favor 2 of them. One is Keto 90 and one is Wellness 90. Um, there's already some meal ideas that they can have, that they can use, and recipes I can give them.
Mhm.
And then some people are really picky about what they eat. And if they want to succeed, they gotta like what they eat, even when they're trying to release their weight. That's
Yeah,
so important.
it
Otherwise,
is.
that's not gonna continue.
Right.
So I kinda create a custom idea of a day, and I point out some recipes for them, and I send it to them. With that 12-week program, it's a lot more of that. And, I also have coaching on a weekly basis, um, and I also help people on the side, if they wanna do the Better Health Challenge. I've actually had a team that won 1 quarter. One was doing Wellness 90 and one was doing Keto 90, and they became semifinalists. And I was really thrilled and happy for them. It just warmed my heart that that happened. That during both of these type of coachings, whether it's individual or whether it's a team, I I do weekly calls where I try to see where they're coming from and what kind of obstacles they have, what kind of issues they have.
Yeah.
And, you know, people, it may have an energy issue. People may have, an emotional issue.
Yeah.
And the products that I provide actually help give you natural energy. And they actually they come from a plant-derived source, like I said before. And the minerals actually come from plant life that used to feed the dinosaurs. So it's definitely going to be GMO-free. And they're colloidal minerals, which are protected. And they make a big difference in people's lives. And why I offer is something called 90 for Life, which has 16 vitamins, 16 minerals, 12 amino acids, and 3 essential fatty acids. And my toolbox is longevity. And so the products are great to make you feel better so you can revitalize your health. In a way, one cell at a time because you have a lot of cells.
Yeah.
And I think the reason I felt the product so soon is because I lost that additional, those 50 pounds originally. And when you lose weight, it's a way of detoxing your body system.
Yeah.
And so it did a world of good for me.
How long did it take you, Debbie? Like from the time you started the program to, I don't know, to even the first 10 pounds? Did that come off right away or?
When I started the program, I did it within 6 months, and I lost it pretty quickly at the beginning, and then it kinda was a few pounds every week or like 2 or 3 pounds. And there was areas there where I had plateaus,
Yeah, of course.
and that's where I learned how to get people through plateaus, and, 'cause of things that they offered and other things I've learned as well. And, but the additional 20 pounds, because I've lost 70 pounds total, was after I started running on that treadmill.
Yeah.
And
Exercise.
and that November was before I started doing half marathons. So it was kind of like I hit that November and I was stabilizing at that size because, with weight, you can gain weight just by building muscle. This is not fat. And muscle weighs more than fat. So
Yeah.
really it's your size that matters.
Absolutely. I never weigh myself.
Right. And some people have a hang up with weighing themselves.
Yeah, no, I don't.
And so I know you don't. But
Yeah.
when they do, it's like, that's okay. How are your clothes feeling?
How's your energy? Are you happy? Or do you feel sluggish? Or, how's your
Exactly.
bowel movements?
Exactly.
All that.
Because all that stuff. And a lot of people don't realize you need at least 3 bowel movements a day.
Yeah, that's like, it's funny. I was at a party, this is years ago now, and there was a woman there, and the host of the party, he was a gentleman here in Newport. Actually, he lived in Corona Del Mar. And we were at his house, and he was referring to a lady at the party, and he's like, "Oh, she's always in a good mood. She takes 3 bowel movements a day."
Well, your gut is your second brain if you think about it. And yes, if you have a happy gut, you're going to have a healthy brain. And because, sometimes when you're really nervous and things like that, you'll get butterflies.
Yeah.
So your brain does communicate your gut. So it is your second brain along the vagus nerve. And
Oh, yeah.
now that we're thinking about this, I should have said the other things in my offer is not just the health evaluation and the first appointment, but I also offer a journal because, like I said earlier, it's really important to journal your foods. So I offer what's called a mindset and health journal, where they can list their gratitudes for the day. There's a mindset quote every week or every day actually, and they can list things that they've had issues with, as well as review their day. What kind of emotions they had.
Yeah.
Because staying on the positive side is really important, like I said before, because it'll give you more energy. It's going to make you feel better. And then, of course, you log your foods and activities and everything else. And then the last part of that offer I have is actually a free 30-minute coaching.
Okay.
Which they can use for that mindset, or they can use I had one person saying, I'm on keto right now. I need help. And that's what they used it for. So That's a great offer that I have there, where you start off with the introduction, we get to know them, find out what kind of issues are going on, and then create that strategy, and then help them with the journey, and then follow up with all these, check-in things I do anyways with clients, because I want their score to go up, because that health evaluation will give you a score, and their score will go up, and that makes them happy too. So when people see the wins, if as small as it is, like I said, with my speed,
Mhm.
my time getting better, that it makes you happy. And those are the things you need to treasure. They're kind of like sand in an hourglass. Capture those wins, remember them, and you'll
And
be so much
celebrate
happier.
them.
What?
Celebrate them
Celebrate them, exactly, because they're just gonna get you further down the road. You gotta take care of yourself
first.
first and take care of others, which is something I talked about for the last few years.
Mhm.
And I've done that in happy runner chats because I did it. I don't look as nice like this because I do them right after my runs.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Happy Runner Chats are on your website, right?
Happy Runner Chats is on YouTube.
Oh,
It's YouTube, Debbie Changes Lives.
okay.
Yeah. And they can check them out. I'm uploading all this stuff for the last few years because I wasn't doing that. And I've been doing more lately as well. But people have always tuned in. It's a Facebook Live I do,
Okay.
and people have tuned into it, and I've talked about my foot journey and, and things like that.
Yeah,
But people see that I'm a real person that way.
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Debbie, take us through like your morning routine or something that you'll eat in a typical keto when you're on point kind of thing.
Okay. Keto lifestyle for maintenance. Okay, that's all too, because that's what I am now.
And then
But
I and then I wanna hear what your favorite cheat meal is too.
okay. Um, what I do as a typical day is I wake up, I take my supplementation, and I also eat um, 2 scrambled eggs, and I put in I I have I have access to a really great spice from my toolbox from Longevity, called Curry House, and I mix that with goat cheese and basil, and I create these scrambled eggs. I cut up small strawberries, 3 of them, and I put stevia on them, and then I have a cup of ginger tea, which has green tea in it as well, and I put like a tablespoon of um, heavy cream in it. So that's my breakfast, and then I go out running. So so
Not
I
right
always
away, you let it digest.
well, actually, I'm a person that just goes, it
Oh,
probably a half hour or so before actually get out running.
okay.
But I've been a person that doesn't have that problem. But yeah, some people
Yeah.
have that issue. Everyone is different. So you
Okay.
got to do what's right for you.
Of course, yeah.
And so I go out running. And the reason why I want to do it the first thing in the morning because it's cooler. And I get my running done. So if you think about it, what I'm doing is I'm getting the rocks done first. Like, people need to exercise, and I
Mhm.
work with people with their lifestyle,
Yeah.
what works for them. And for me, getting the exercise done first thing in the morning is what I do. And normally I got up to where 6 miles, 4 to 5 days a week before I broke my foot. So it became
Mhm.
very easy for me to do that. I know some people where they do 12 miles, it's become really easy for them to do that. And I look at them like, wow. But, everyone is different. And then for lunch, I'm a salad person. That
Mhm.
keto plan I learned before, I just made salads. And the protein of choice for me is chicken. I also like seafood. For some reason, cows don't agree with me, so I just stay away from cows. um, but it's interesting when I did my first, losing those 50 pounds, I was able to start eating dairy, and I wasn't able to do that before.
Mm.
Um, but I do like goat cheese. And so I've had a salad with some chicken, moderate, like, 2 ounces, no more than 3. I have tomatoes and I have avocado. I eat a half avocado, goat cheese. I make a little dressing that has a little bit of heavy cream in it. That's my lunch. And then for dinner, I like something warm.
Mm.
So, I can have, if I do tacos, I use a lettuce leaf, or I find something that's gluten-free. There are some tortillas out there that are gluten-free that are made with chia seeds and things like that. But I also use lettuce wraps. And I use a fajita spice and I make that. Or I do a whole bunch of different type of dinners. I don't always do one. And then I also do a shake during the day. The shake I use is a great muscle recovery shake that is a keto shake.
Okay.
Um, it's called Fit Shake from Longevity. It has bone broth protein in it,
Oh.
and a whole bunch of other. It has digestive enzymes in it, so that it's easier for you to digest it as well.
Mhm.
And I have that as well. So that's my day. And then the end of the day, I have a cup of tea where I put some OsteoFX or Beyond OsteoFX, which is a calcium magnesium product because magnesium helps you sleep. I put collagen in there as well, and I drink the tea. And I use a type of binaural to help me sleep, and I out like a light.
Wow. You sleep all night.
Mostly, yeah. Sometimes I'm waking up at 5, but my problem is I have a cat that loves to wake me up.
Oh. Oh,
But my whole point is, with this weight loss and the stress, people need to sleep,
yes.
and if you don't sleep well, I have solutions for that too.
Yeah. Awesome. I think what do I want to say here? The big message I guess I'm taking away from today is stress, for everyone to just really take note of the stress and the go lifestyle. Social media today and everything, like you said, that we're bombarded with on a daily basis, Facebook, Instagram, text messaging, you always feel like you're on this edge of having to respond, and that takes away from being present
Mhm.
with ourselves, let alone other people, but just with ourselves and how we're feeling and what feels right to do in the moment. And that takes
Exactly.
a lot of self-awareness. Um,
Yeah, you gotta be self-aware of what's stressing you. I way before in the 1980s when people had uh, got not text, they got beepers. I had this one person that would get a phone call, or not a phone call, but call this number. It used to stress them out, so he used to stop wearing his, I forgot the
Sure.
device, but you know what I mean. It's like he stopped wearing it. He stopped carrying phones. He just stopped. And that was great awareness. And with when you work with mindset and things like that, being aware of what triggers you. That picture triggered me to lose that weight, right? To
Yeah.
release that weight. That picture also triggers me to not let it happen again.
Do you keep it
So
up?
to keep it up. Exactly.
Okay, you
So
do.
so it you have certain things that will help motivate you and keep you on task, but you
Mhm.
also have to put boundaries out there too, you know? Um,
Absolutely.
if something is not serving you, you gotta judge about something that's going on with your life that's bringing you down, that's stressing you out, whether it's Facebook, whether it's, you know, Instagram or whatever it is. I mean,
Or
take
relationships.
or relationships,
Certain
exactly.
relationships, that's huge.
That's huge. And you break it down to say, what's going on here?
Mhm.
Is there something I can do to help that from to stop, like talking to somebody to
Yeah.
so they know everyone's on the same page?
Mhm.
Whether it's, I'm going to stay away from social media right now because what's going on in the news.
Mm-hmm.
And throughout the last few years, I've been telling people, don't watch the news.
Yeah.
It's just too much negative stuff, you know, and all that stuff just kind of weighs at you.
Yes.
So being aware of that and then starting to release those things, whether it's, you know, some stressful situation in your life where you need to make some boundaries, whether it's, you know, what's going on in the news, whether it's even something that you're realizing, wow, that food is not agreeing with me. I got to stop doing that. Those things are stressing out your body and
Yeah.
also your mind. Because, you know, if your body is not up to par, you're not going to be a happy person. And yes, like your show says, love your body, love your life. Because
Mhm.
once you become healthier,
Debbie, you
you're
know,
going to love how productive your life is and how fulfilling it is.
yeah. Thank you. I
You're
get
welcome.
both sides of the coin. I get, Jenna, that really hits home for me, like, love your body, love your life. And then I get, of course, the people that are, a little bit kind of making fun of it. Like, "Oh, love your body, love your life." Like, but it's true. It's like we have to, like, really pay attention and be sensitive to ourselves, and our body is like everything. It's our temple.
It is our temple. You only have one life,
Mhm.
right? You only
Yeah.
have one body. So pay attention to what's on with your body. And if you're having problems with a certain health condition that you're not succeeding with somebody, then search out and find a solution.
Absolutely.
There's natural approaches that may help you.
Mm.
And but you don't know that until you go down that road.
Yeah.
I didn't know keto was going to work for me, but obviously it did.
Yeah, and congratulations for finding it, Debbie, and thank God for your husband because,
Mhm.
like we've mentioned several times in the show, I mean, everybody is different.
Yes.
It's like that may work for you. And you know what I find is that, I mean, I'm very in tune though. I've been working on myself for over 20 years. So I'm super in tune with my body and what it needs in the
Mhm.
moment. And for me, what works is like changing it up. Like
Mhm.
I was just literally on a all plant-based diet. I did it for 90 days and I was pretty much like on a raw food kick in the beginning. Then I
Mhm.
brought in some more like warming foods, and that was working for me. And
Yeah.
I said I was going to do it for 90 days. So I went to Vegas with my family, and then it was like, okay, I knew 90 days was going to be it. And then I knew I was going to be starting to introduce the fish and the chicken again and slowly. And so now that's kind of working. So,
Good.
it's like everybody is different. And
Everyone's different, and keto's not for everybody. That's why I offered the wellness 90. It's like nuts, fruits, and vegetables, and it's really important that you have GMO-free produce. And
yeah,
unfortunately, our vegetables don't have all the nutrients that they've had
right.
they've dropped like 80% in the last, oh, I don't know, 70 years, or at least 40 years.
Mhm.
Um, so we got to really that's where supplementation, the micronutrients come into play with our macronutrients, which are your foods. So,
Yeah. And the supplements for the minerals.
yeah, the minerals. The minerals are so important. They can actually keep you from eating and craving things because it kind of satisfies you, like a healthy fat will satisfy you as well, like avocado.
Mhm. What's your
You know,
favorite cheat meal, Debbie?
what's my favorite what?
Your favorite cheat meal?
Favorite cheat meal. I don't cheat often, but my birthday's coming up.
Oh,
I'll just share a couple bites of a cheesecake. Yes,
that's
it
kinda
has sugar in it,
keto-ish,
but I
though,
don't
right?
eat what?
That's kinda keto-ish,
It's
right?
kinda keto-ish.
Yeah.
But I don't eat the crust. I kinda, don't eat the crust. I eat the cheesecake, and that's something I really love. And chocolate is a favorite too, so a chocolate cheesecake is like a d to die for.
Oh my
But,
god.
chocolate can be healthy. You can treat yourself to, a certain chocolate, healthy chocolate from once in a while. But
Oh yeah.
early on, they told me I can cheat with pizza, but I don't do that. I just don't, because I've learned certain things just give me heartburn.
Mm-hmm.
So why do it? My body's telling me don't do it. And I
Yeah.
stay away from oils. So
Oh, all oils.
all oils. Mhm.
No olive oil
No
or
olive oil. No, no. I stay away from oils. With my clients, I let them choose if they want to use butter to cook with or coconut oil because it's kind of solidified. But that's, and you're not really supposed to cook with olive oil.
mm-hmm.
Um, when you cook with oils, it turns into trans fats when it's at high heat. So that's why I stay away from oils.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And looking back at my life, I was like, you know what? I should have done that a long time ago because I was getting when I was in my 20s, like 23 to 28, I was working and traveling a lot. I just had heartburn all the time eating at restaurants. So,
Mm. Interesting.
mhm.
Well, we are coming to the end of our time. So um, thank you again for coming on. I really appreciate it and you sharing your story. You're super inspiring. And I know a lot of people can relate to you, Debbie. Just seeing themselves in a picture or on camera somewhere, it's like, wow, that's me kind of thing.
Mhm.
Where can people find you? Just tell us again your website or your Instagram, whatever you want to.
Okay. My website is debbichangeslives.com. And you'll actually see a picture of my before the Christmas picture and the running picture.
Oh,
Um, and um, and you can reach out to me at Debi, DEBI, at Debi Changes Lives via email if you're interested. And don't forget that Bitly is a great way to get started, and you'll be interfacing with me as well.
the what is a great
The
great way?
Bitly offer, the Debi dash
Oh,
offer,
right, the offer.
bit.ly / Debi, DEBI -offer.
Yeah, awesome. Well, thank you so much. Stay backstage so we can talk offline for a little bit.
I
And
will.
yeah, thanks again.
Thank you.